Hello and welcome to the Matthew Alton Art channel again. If you're new here, welcome aboard. And if you are returning, you've possibly come back to see the next instalment of my 7-day art challenge where I'm doing a portrait drawing for 30 minutes every day for 7 days. I did the last video, which was the first one and explaining what I was going to do the first day. And this video is going to show days 2 and 3, so a combined video. Don't want to bombard people with videos every day, so this is a combined video. I'm going to use pencil again. It's another portrait, and let's see how we get on. I was actually doing this drawing during a drink and draw social event on the Patreon. Bless the patrons, they said it was okay for us to do portraits this evening so that I could kill 2 birds with 1 stone and do my 30 minutes drawing for today, which was the Monday, while I was chatting to them and having a drink. So I've started at the top of the head, as I normally do. Those of you that are familiar with the channel will know that that's where I normally start when I'm doing portraits or indeed figure drawings. I'm using the 8B leads in my Nicpro mechanical pencils. Again, you can tell that they're quite dark, so they're quite black, these leads. One thing I have found is that they're very brittle as well, and they break quite easily, so I've already used one of the leads on the first few days of this challenge. As always, since I've started this challenge, this is day 2, I'm finding that I'm spending far too long in the beginning stages and then I'm rushing it towards the end. And I'm hoping that one of the things that improves over this week while I'm doing this challenge is that I'm better able to judge how quickly I need to go at the start and sort of not be quite so rushed at the end. It's a bit difficult, this one, in that when I'm chatting, that's sort of sometimes why I'm a bit distracted and not necessarily keeping track of time properly. Using the electric eraser there just to remove the highlights in the eyes and some of the reflected highlights in the bottom right of the iris as well. This was a reference that I'd shared with the group from Instagram. It's not such a good likeness as the one that I started this challenge with, which was my partner in day 1. I'll put the link to that at the end of the video so people can catch up if you're new to this challenge with where I was on day 1, which was Sunday. But as I said in that video, it's not really about capturing likeness or worrying about whether I've captured the likeness accurately or not. It's about working quickly, developing some sort of free hand for getting stuff down quickly, increasing speed, hand-eye coordination, all those sorts of things. And it's not a terrible likeness, and it certainly looks human. I did again go slightly over on this one, but I allowed myself, without worrying, I think it was about 35-40 minutes by the time I'd actually finished it, but I didn't worry about that because, to be fair, I was distracted and talking, so some of the time I should have been drawing I was actually talking to the others and telling them how panicked I was, because they didn't have a time limit, but I did. So looking at it, the eyes perhaps are a little large on this. I quite like the eyes. I think the eyes are quite good. There's one that's a slightly different size to the other. But again, you can't expect a perfect portrait in 30 minutes. And to be fair, while doing these, I'm really enjoying doing them, which is a new thing for me because portraits stress me out and scare me out to a certain extent. But partly because I'm worried about the likeness. So I'm finding that this is really good in that I don't care about the likeness. It's about practicing drawing and improving over time. Well, this is going to be the third day's drawing. You've just seen the second day of the Portrait 7 Days Challenge, 30 minutes every day. So this is going to be the third day. Okay, let's see how we get on. Still up for this challenge, not feeling jaded or stressed by it at all. 30 minutes is sort of a commitment, but it's not too bad in that you can do them in lunch hours if you need to. I did this one after work, but they don't eat too much into your day. The one thing that I'm struggling with a bit is that I would like to carry on, but I'm deliberately not carrying on too many minutes past the deadline, so it's a fair and accurate test. But it's good that I'm so enthusiastic that I would like to carry on. In reality, these sorts of portraits and poses that I'm doing, I would probably spend an hour and a half on doing normally. But again, that isn't the point of doing these portraits. It's what can I get done in half an hour, and how can I learn to do these things quickly and more efficiently. And I can always come back and do them again if I want to and take the time on them. And hopefully, having learned so much during the week where I've been doing them fast and within 30 minutes, I will have improved by the time I do that. This one was another reference that I shared with patrons last night. They had a choice of which one they did. I just did one of them. And this was the second one. So some of the patrons had already drawn this the previous night. But I like the pose in this one. It was from Instagram again. I shared an Instagram post. And when I searched for those, I was looking for sort of high contrast black and white portrait photos, which obviously when you're working in black and white helps. And probably when I'm working in black and white, I would, even if it had been a colour picture, I would have desaturated it and made it black and white anyway to actually work from, because it just takes some of the effort out of translating colours into tones and that sort of thing. Again, this isn't a perfect likeness. I like the pose of the lady looking up. So a bit challenging in terms of the angle. The face is at an angle and the eyes are at an angle. But again, it took me too long to get going and start with the face. So I was rushing it again towards the end, and I didn't finish this one really in any way that I could have done. It was quite a complicated pose, to be fair. It had a hand on it and an arm and all sorts of stuff. So it doesn't matter. As I keep saying, this is an exercise. Whatever I've done in 30 minutes or 35 minutes or however long it took me, again, I went slightly over, was where I got to, and that's the drawing. I do in my sketchbook always say how long things take in a little note in the corner, the date and that sort of thing. But I'm quite liking the face. Again, it's not a particularly good, accurate likeness. The nose is a bit big on this one. She's a lot more ugly than she is on the photograph that I was using as a reference. Don't mean that in any bad way, but her features are a bit more larger and less well balanced on my drawing. But in 30 minutes, I'm doing the best that I can. But again, I quite like the drawing, whether it's as beautiful as the photograph was or not. It's quite a characterful face. I obviously didn't have time to do the hair in any detail at all. I'm just trying to indicate the big bushy hair, and then of course as I do that I have to sort of indicate the shoulders so that we can see that she's looking over her shoulder, and the hand that she's leaning the side of her face on under her ear. It's very, very quickly drawn in because I don't have the time to do that sort of detail in 30 minutes. So here are the final drawings for the 2 days, days 2 and 3. So I'm 3 days in, 4 to go of the challenge. I'm loving the exercise, I have to say. It's really good for improving my portrait ability. Even if the likeness isn't great on these two, it's not terrible. And what can I expect in 30 minutes? But they're human, and the more I do, the more I learn, which is the point of this exercise. I'd recommend it to anybody actually who wants to improve portraits. I'm not saying things are improving. Maybe we'll see an improvement by the end of the week, or maybe we won't. But I think I am storing away um, repeated trials at drawing eyes and noses and lips and how those all join together. So it can't help but improve portrait work going forwards, I think, really. Okay, well, thank you for your time in watching. I'll probably do another video in a couple of days or 3 days, and it'll be a combined video again. So if you're enjoying this, then do pop back on and see how I'm getting on in a couple of days. It won't be too long to go after that one. As I say, thank you for joining me. If you are new here, then do consider subscribing. I'm doing 2 or 3 videos a week at the moment. Do hit the notification bell if you want to be notified of new posts that I make. And of course, do like the videos as well. That will really help the channel grow. And subscribe if you can. The subscriber numbers are slightly going up again, which is a good thing. So I'd appreciate every subscriber if you can do that for me. Okay, I'll see you on the next one. Thanks. Bye.